Hi, my name is Eddie Santos. I'm a retired. Hi, my name is Eddie Santos. I'm a retired Army sergeant with more than 23 years, and I am a disabled vet. I've been all over the place trying to get assistance for my disability. And as for right now, the only person that seemed to help me out was when I went to the congressman's office, tried to get some assistance for him to help me get my prosthetic leg fixed. So finally the congressman had me the opportunity to go to Palo Alto in San Jose, California, where they finally fixed my prosthetic. If you need help and you seem to not get it anywhere, you should go see our congressman with the people he has there to help us veterans get what we need and what we deserve for doing our time in service for the freedom of our island and for our country.
This ad was paid for with official funds from the office of Congressman Michael F.Q. San Nicolas.
A lot has changed overnight, but Buick and GMC's commitment to you remains the same. We understand you want to feel safe, so we're offering current owners complimentary OnStar Crisis Assist services. Should you need a vehicle, we're offering 0% financing for up to 84 months with deferred payment options for 120 days. Plus, you may have the option to shop online and take delivery at home. Visit our websites for the help you need.
Visit AutoSpot GMC today.
Funerals actually take a lot more planning than I expected. With us using Island Cuisine for the first time, of course we were iffy, but once they came and showed us their service, their food, we tasted their food and everything, we definitely use them again because their service and food is just awesome.
The pompous
and elite wish we go away
because we are
real and direct.
No interest owns us,
and we have no interest but the truth.
Together we are exposing
corruption.
Together we will reform criminal justice.
Together
we are fighting violence
against women and children.
We here at
Kandit will shine the light
on every corner of darkness.
Together we are giving a voice
to the voiceless
and forgotten.
Stay lit.
Together.
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 Together. We are giving a voice to the voiceless and forgotten.
We are Kandit News Group.
Mr. God 2019. I just want all of the sailors in the USS TR to know that I'm thinking and praying for you. Thank you. Bye.
Hafide, my name is Kai, and on behalf of the Island Cuisine family, I would like to send out a great big Undunkulunesi Ziwas Maasi. Thank you to all USS Theodore Roosevelt sailors for all that you do. We wish and send all prayers for a speedy recovery, and we will keep you all in our thoughts. Thank you for your service. God bless.
Hafaday. My family and I extend our deepest condolences to the friends, family, shipmates of the USS Theodore Roosevelt, sailor who passed away recently. May we join the people of Guam in extending our prayers and our support, and may God continue to provide comfort and strength during this very difficult time. Sudus Masi.
Hafaday, I'm Jim Moylan, and I want to extend my condolences to the family members and the loved ones of Chief Petty Officer Charles Tracker Jr., who had passed and was amongst those who tested positive for the coronavirus on the USS Theodore Roosevelt. I understand the hardship one experiences while serving our country, and I appreciate the time and effort our military members put in to protect our country and her borders and the sacrifices they made, most especially at a time like this with the extremities of COVID-19, where we all are in a fight not many have experienced before. To all those affected by this, let's keep them in our thoughts and prayers. We are in this fight together, and we will weather the storm together. Stay safe and protected, and may God bless the sailors of the USS Theodore Roosevelt, and God bless Guam.
Of Kandit News, I'm Johnny Rosario.
And I'm Troy Torres.
Welcome to our studios here in Tumon, Guam. We'll start off with the missing Gizmo.
So Gizmo was last seen on Simon Sanchez High School, or along near Simon Sanchez High School in Jigo. He belongs to Richard Nonog, and his number is, we posted this on our website, sent it on our WhatsApp, and also put this on our Facebook page. Do you have his number showing up there?
No.
It's 653, I believe it's 5902. Just 1 second, let me find it. Oh, that was an ugly scabies picture.
Oh, I saw that too.
Yeah, it makes me want to vomit. Sorry, I'm not prepared at all. It's 653-5902. If you see Gizmo, a dog who looks like Gizmo, wandering around, or if you know anyone who has Gizmo, please call 653-5902. Gizmo belongs to Richard Nonog, and you can see his beautiful picture. It's such a cute dog. It's a Shih Tzu.
That dog is cute.
So, I'm really sorry, guys. I'm not prepared at all. I just came out of the shower. I don't know if you want to talk about.
We were just gonna go into the EIP and the facts.
Yeah. Can we go into that?
That's what we were gonna do.
Yeah.
So, in order for you to qualify for this payment from the feds on the stimulus, we have on our website at www.canonnews.com, Revenue and Tax Director Daphne Shimazu sent this to us. So, for residents of Guam should not use the non-filer portal or the IRS website. All Guam residents are required to file with the Guam Department of Revenue and Taxation. Question number 1. What is an economic impact payment? The Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Securities Act, CARES Act, provides for direct economic impact payments to Americans for financial relief during the coronavirus. Troy. The economic impact payment is a refundable credit which provides up to $1,200 for individuals and $2,400 for joint filers, and $500 additional dollars for each qualifying child ages 16 and under. Now, our children that we still claim 17, 18, 19, all the way up until 26 years old, I believe, as long as they're going to college, they do not qualify, and you cannot file a separate return or this
Claim.
claim on the, that form, that EIP form, the non-filer status. You cannot file them separately. They do not qualify if they are your dependent.
If they're over the age of 16, correct?
Who is eligible to receive the payment? A U.S. citizen and a U.S. resident alien cannot be claimed as a dependent on someone else's return. So let's say Troy and I were boyfriend and girlfriend.
Oh, people are just saying the microphone keeps going high and low.
Oh, maybe it's my voice.
No.
That
What do I do?
microphone's bad? The mic is good now? Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
Let's say Troy and I are boyfriend and girlfriend. We're not married, and Troy files our taxes, and he claims me as a dependent. You cannot now go back and file separately. You don't, and he won't get $2,400 because we're not married, and so it's not considered a joint return. You have to have a social security number that is valid for employment, and an exception if either spouse is a member of the U.S. Armed Forces at any time during the taxable year, then only one spouse needs to have a valid SSN. That means if you are in the military, have adjusted gross income below an amount based on your filing status and the number of your qualifying children. $75,000 for individuals if their filing status was single or married, filing separately. $112,500 for head of household filers, and $150,000 for married couples filing joint returns. Taxpayers will receive a reduced payment if their AGI is between $75,000 and $99,000. And then $112,500 and $136,500 for head of household. $150,000 and up to $198,000 if their filing status was married, filing jointly. The amount of the reduced payment will be based upon the taxpayer's specific adjusted gross income. Question number 3, if I am eligible to receive an economic impact payment, what do I need to do? In order for our office to pay out the advanced economic impact payment, you must file a 2019 or 2018 income tax return or submit an EIP non-filer form. What income tax year will be used to determine my eligibility for an economic impact payment? If you have already filed your tax return for 2019 and Guam DRT has processed a valid 2019 Guam individual income tax return at the time of certification of the EIP to be paid, then Guam DRT shall determine, based on the individual's 2019 income tax return, the amount of the EIP that the individual would be allowed. If an eligible individual has not filed a 2019 Guam individual income tax return, or if filed and Guam DRT has not processed the return at the time of the certification of the EIP to be paid out, but has filed a 2018 tax return the DRT has processed at such time, then Guam DRT shall determine, based on the individual's 2018 income tax return, the amount of the EIP that the eligible individual would be allowed. Will I receive a payment if I do not make enough money to normally have to file an income tax return? Yes, residents of Guam who are eligible retirees and recipients of Social Security, retirement, disability, survivors benefits, and railroad retirement or veterans benefits, as well as individuals who do not make enough money to normally have to file a tax return, are also eligible for the payment. This includes those who have no income, as well as those whose income comes entirely from federal benefit programs, such as supplemental security income benefits. No minimum income is needed for the payment. Number 6, is filing an income tax return the only thing I have to do to be eligible for the economic impact payment? Filing a return is only one layer of the process to determine whether an individual is eligible. A taxpayer should not only have filed an income tax return, they should also meet income requirements as indicated in number 15 below, as well as the following: have a valid certified Social Security number or adoption taxpayer identification number. The following are not eligible for the economic impact payment: non-resident alien individuals, individuals claimed as a dependent of another taxpayer, estates, trusts, partnerships, or corporations, deceased individuals, incarcerated individuals. Number 7, I recently filed a tax return. What do I need to get a payment? You do not need to take any further action if you filed a Guam income tax return for 2018 or 2019. If you already filed your tax return for 2019 and the Guam DRT has processed a valid 2019 return at the time of the certification of the IEP to be paid, then Guam DRT shall determine, based on the individual's 2019 income tax return, the amount of the EIP that the individual would be allowed. If an eligible individual has not filed a 2019 Guam individual tax return, or if filed and Guam DRT has not processed the individual's 2019 return at the time of the certification to be paid, but has filed a 2018 income tax return that DRT is processed at such time, then DRT shall determine, based on the individual's 2018 return, the amount of the EIP that the eligible individual would be allowed. Number 8, I haven't filed a tax return for 2019 or 2018 and don't need to file tax returns for those years. I receive Social Security, SSI, or Railroad Retirement or Department of Veterans Affairs benefits. What do I need to do to get a payment? You have to provide basic information to DRT to receive your payment. DRT urges you to take one of the following actions as soon as you can. You can use the EIP NF form to provide simple information to DRT so you can get your payment. U.S. citizens and permanent residents can use this tool if they had gross income that did not exceed $12,200 and $24,400 for married couples filing jointly. For 2019, and were not otherwise required to file a Guam income tax return for 2019 and did not plan to do so, you can file a return for 2019 with DRT, even if you receive non-taxable income or do not make enough money to normally have to file a return. You can file the Guam income tax return for 2019 with DRT, even if you receive non-taxable income or do not make enough money to normally have to file a return. I haven't filed a Guam income tax return for 2019 or 2018 and don't receive Social Security, retirement, or any other federal benefits. What do I need to do to get payment? You have to provide the basic information, the form, the EIP NF form that's provided by Revenue and Tax, and it's also at your mayor's office. Number 10, I did not file a tax return for 2019 or 2018. How do I know if I'm required to file a tax return? You have to go to the website www.irs.gov. It answered the questions about your filing status, and then it'll let you know if you need to, what forms you need to fill out.
There's a question, it's a pretty good question, and I think it also speaks to the discrepancy between what Guam is implementing and what the federal government is telling us. Justine Ray Rodriguez Flores says, I have a question. Parents are separated. One parent carries child for 2018. The other parent carries child for 2019. Who's getting that money? And if both are accidentally given the money, will the 2018 carrier have to pay it back?
No, it'll go towards the next, I think. Or no, they have to let them know. It says there's something that if they accidentally receive it.
The feds say that the tax rolls that are supposed to be relied upon is the 2019 tax rolls.
Yes.
And 2018 is only the backup.
Right.
In case you didn't file in 2019,
but because
they want to go
Guam
2018.
DRT is not good, right?
Well, they haven't processed the 2019 rules completely yet.
So they're trying to make it where they're going off the 2018.
So then in this case, this is a big discrepancy because it's a matter of who's actually going to get the money if the parents are not together anymore. So in this case, it's the 2018 parent who's going to get the money and not the 2019 parent, even though the federal rules say it's supposed to be the 2019 parent, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, there's really Kotex. What is this? What's this called?
That's a tampon.
It's a U security tampon by Kotex. Regular. I don't even want to know if there's a large or a small.
It went with your title, Cello.
Thanks, Cello.
Okay.
Thank you.
What is number 11? What is an economic impact payment non-filer EIP NF form? The form is a simplified form that allows you to provide DRT the necessary 2019 information about yourself and any eligible spouse or qualifying children. Children under the age of 17 at the end of 2019. DRT will use this information to determine your eligibility and payment amount and send you an economic impact payment. The form is to be used for Guam residents who meet the following requirements. Your gross income did not exceed $12,200 and $24,400 for married couples for 2019. Were not otherwise required to file a Guam income tax return for 2019 and didn't plan to, and then you have no income. You must provide our office with all the required information in all the sections indicated on the EIP NF form in its entirety. Failure to do so will result in the payment not being issued. Number 12, who should not use the EIP form? You should not use the form if any of the following apply. You already filed a 2019 or 2018 tax return. You already received your payment based on your 2019 or 2018 return, even if you did not receive the full amount. For example, because you have a newly born child in 2020 who was not reported on your 2019 return. Your 2019 gross income exceeded $12,200 or other reasons required you to file an income tax return. Someone could claim you as a dependent on their 2019 return. You are married but will not be using the form with your spouse. You must file a 2019 or 2018 tax return to receive your payment separate from your spouse. You weren't a U.S. citizen or U.S. permanent resident, green card holder in 2019. Those who were resident aliens in 2019 because they satisfied the substantial presence test and qualify for the payment must file a tax return to receive the payment. Number 13, I need to file a tax return, but I'm concerned about visiting a tax professional or local community organization in person right now to get help with my tax return. How long is the payment available? Payments will be made throughout the rest of 2020. If you do not receive a payment this year, you can also claim it by filing a tax return for 2020 next year. Number 14, will DRT contact me about my payment? The DRT will not call, email, or text you about your payments. Guam DRT will not contact you to request personal information. Watch out for websites and social media attempts that request money or personal information and for schemes tied to economic impact payments. What is the amount of the payment I will receive? $1,200 for single, $2,400 for married filing jointly with the joint return, and $500 for each additional child. Payment who meets the following conditions. If you a qualifying child, the child is your son, daughter, stepchild, eligible foster child, brother, sister, stepbrother, stepsister, or half brother, half sister, or descendant of any of them. For example, your grandchild, niece, or nephew. The child is claimed as a dependent on your tax return. The child was under the age of 17 at the end of the taxable year.
I'm confused. So is it 16 or 17?
The top says 16, the bottom says 17.
So maybe that's why people are confused about that number.
Yes.
Is because there's two different numbers coming out of the same fact sheet.
The child was a U.S. citizen, U.S. national, or U.S. resident alien. The child has a valid SSN or adoption taxpayer identification number. Will my payment be reduced if my income is too little or too much? Eligible individuals don't need a minimum income for the payment. However, for higher income individuals, and that was stated earlier, I filed a joint, number 17, I filed a joint return with my spouse. Will we receive a payment if I have a valid SSN and my spouse has an individual taxpayer identification number? No, when spouses file jointly, both spouses must have valid SSNs to receive payment, with only one exception, and that's if you are in the military. What is meant by a valid SSN required for payment? A valid SSN for a payment is one that is valid for employment and is issued by the Social Security Administration before the due date of your 2019 tax return.
Wait, there are people who don't have Social Security numbers? Is that like are they like illegal immigrants or something, or what is that?
I don't know. In order for you to work and file a return.
Because even if you're a resident alien, you get a Social Security number, right?
Yeah.
Who doesn't have a Social Security number?
I don't know.
Madeline Bordallo, maybe.
Hers, no.
Hers was
expired?
Zero.
Is a child born, adopted, or placed in foster care in 2020 a qualifying child? The payment in 2020 will not include additional amount for these children because the payment in 2020 is based only on information from your 2019 or 2018 tax return. You may claim the child next year for additional credit on your 2020 tax return. I received an additional, let's not get into that because nobody received anything. Oh no, just those advance payments, right?
But some of this stuff is getting confusing now.
It is. I really think we just need to get the do's and don'ts from the congressman.
Yeah, so we read this earlier today. How far through are you with it? Because it's already getting confusing.
It is.
Is it almost done? Oh my gosh,
No.
There's a lot more.
Yeah. Can you guys just go to the website?
Yeah.
www.kanditnews.com.
So, I don't know what that Social Security number thing is about. But before we go into the whole, we figured this whole cash assistance thing is what's on everyone's mind since the news that the money arrived in the bank account and may be issued next week. But before we continue on with that, there are some announcements. So we have a food drive going on. It's nothing formal. It's just people donating things and people picking things up. And there have been a lot of people both ways, both donors and recipients. It's been a very beautiful process for us, and we very much appreciate. We feel very blessed to be a part of this, a part of the kindness of so many people, and the humility of so many others, and all. We're just sort of like a facilitator, right? And so thank you to all of the donors.
No, I'm a vessel.
All right, so someone clarified. They're wondering
What?
if your vessel is regular, light, or heavy. I saw the comments
I don't
there.
use those. I do not use those. Sorry.
So, so thank you to those who have donated. Thank you to those who have placed your trust in us to, keep you anonymous and not make you feel, any sort of shame or whatever. And you guys, when you come here, you see me in all my hair glory. When I'm not wearing a hat.
Sweating. I forget my mask, and I just,
Didn't wear any underwear.
Now, it's not just us that's doing a food drive. It's also the Guam Daily Post. Can we put up their flyer, please? It's from now until Monday, May 11, you can bring your donations to the Guam Daily Post. Call them at 649-1924. They're accepting non-perishable items, and I believe also to pick up your food products. Call them at 649-1924. I saw some pictures of the bundling of the stuff that they put together, sort of like care packages for people, and it's really beautiful. But Guam Daily Post and Kandit are not the only businesses that are putting their foot forward for this. So is Buen Provecho. If you go to buenprovecho.com, that's BUENPRUBECHU.com, and you sign up there with your first name, last name, and your email address. Place your order for a whole bunch of different stuff. You take your pick: snacks, drinks, alcohol, hot food items, etc. All of the money that this company makes, 100% is going to be put back into the community during this COVID-19 crisis. And a lot of that has to do with giving food to people. And we had a story out where one of the lines of the story, and I don't know if people expect us to be like the Pacific Daily News and how boring they are, or how they pretend to not have some sort of bias. So we tell you straight up, we absolutely have a bias in our reporting, and we are very honest about it so that you understand you can make decisions for yourself on how you want to read a story. But one of the lines was that in the Daily Post thing that we put up and we promoted was that the Daily Post is doing this, and other organizations are doing these food drives in the absence of any initiative from the government of Guam. And someone thought, that's a distorted way of putting things. Absolutely not. It's the absolute truth. The government of Guam is doing nothing. And so there is no distortion there. You need to shut your mouth and sit down, whoever you are. I know your name, but I'm not going to say it because these days now I'm a Christian. Now, I wasn't supposed to say yesterday that AutoSpot is making a big donation of food and stuff, but I did. And so the cat's out of the bag. And it's not the reason I'm telling this. So AutoSpot's one of our advertisers. You all, whoever you are getting your stimulus check. And if you do not need to buy tampons or you don't need to buy food, and let's say you wanted to make that down payment on a car, call AutoSpot, visit AutoSpot. They're open as well as the other car companies, but never mind them. Just go to AutoSpot or check C. Rods at Atkins Kroll.
No, I think he's furloughed.
Oh, he's furloughed?
I think so.
Oh, never mind Atkins Kroll right now. Just go to Guam AutoSpot and pick out your car. Go see Derek Munya Kanata and tell him that Johnny and Troy sent you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just barge into his office and say, hey, my chalus are Johnny, Eric, and Troy.
Ma'am.
And he'll help you out
I am.
to get a deal. I tried to get him to send us whatever promo it was, but he didn't answer my WhatsApp message.
Chella, we got some breaking news.
Oh, what's our breaking news?
Let me bring it up. Breaking news.
Is this Jacob Nakamura?
Yes. Adaloop was abuzz today with some exciting news. Governor Liu considers changes to communication staff.
Oh my God.
Governor Liu is considering having former journalists Carlotta Leon Guerrero and Jane Flores take over Carlo Branch and Janela Carrera's jobs. The story is developing.
Oh my gosh, that is breaking news. Go ahead and you can go to my screen so people can see the graphic. Wow. Thanks, Jacob. I'm gonna ask Jacob where this came from as soon as our cast is off.
You know Jacob.
I know Jacob.
Verify.
Yeah. Wow.
Governor Liu considers. So this is a Tomorrowland, right? This is in Tomorrowland.
Changes to communication staff. Well, I don't know. She should hop on to it. Probably save her from a recall petition by the people of Guam.
So does that mean they're fired?
I don't know. We have to ask Jacob. It's not very clear to me. Oh, well. Anyway, no use wasting time on Carlo Branch or Janela Carrera anymore. There has been a special request and dedication for the Janela throwing a napkin fit video. Do we have that by any chance?
It's in our archives. I have to find it.
Oh, we have to find it. It's buried.
It's.
Which one is that?
It's the one where she was like, and she's crying.
Oh, yeah.
And she throws something on the ground.
Don't worry.
Don't worry. You'll find it by the show's end.
And then I'll play it until everybody's sick of it.
Okay, all right. Hold on, let me look at my messages because Jacob's messaging. Okay.
Finally, Lou does something right by replacing Carlo Branch and
everybody out
Janela.
there, just, Jacob is, my Palan brother, and actually his name is pronounced Yapo in Palan.
Oh, for real?
Oh, sure.
But Jake has been feeling a little sick these past few days, and he's still jamming, still working.
Because he's still the one.
Send your prayers out for Jacob.
Yes.
Yeah. Send your
Get
prayers.
better, Jacob.
He needs it.
And
Well, Jacob likes it when I call him Jake.
We have not been able to, from State Farm, we have not been able to see Jake from State Farm for quite some time. But he's still on it with all the stories and stuff.
But like a good neighbor.
Jake is there.
And so is the Catholic Church. The church released news today. Oh, that's the scabies report. 1 second. Archbishop Michael Burns approved today an update to the Archdiocese sacramental protocols. And this is what's going to happen. The following may resume with limitation as detailed in the protocols updated by the Archdiocesan Liturgical Commission, which is headed by Father Paul Gluffigan. Number 1, outdoor mass outdoors with the faithful in their cars. Number 2, confession. I need to do some confession. Number 3, anointing of the sick for non-COVID patients. And thankfully, they're doing the testing correctly now, so, and number 4, baptism. The Archbishop tasked the Liturgical Commission to work with pastors in updating internal. Okay, that's blah, 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 blah. Masses outside with the faithful in their vehicles. Here are some important points to remember. All Catholics are dispensed from the obligation to attend Mass on Sundays and holy days of obligation at this time. However, for those who wish to attend Mass during this time, the Archdiocese reminds everyone that should you have flu-like symptoms or compromised immune systems, you must, not they're asking, but you must remain home. The faithful should remain in their vehicles while Mass is celebrated by the priest using a public address system and in some cases with Mass live streaming on the internet. Mass-goers will receive the Holy Eucharist from their cars. During communion, Mass-goers will be instructed to exit their vehicles and receive the Eucharist standing by their cars. In a few cases, communion will be given to attendees as they sit in their cars. However, at all times, the communion host should be treated with the utmost sacredness for the body of Christ and must not be passed from Mass-goer to Mass-goer. In most cases, the priest and Eucharistic ministers will either approach Mass-goers at their cars or Mass-goers will be instructed to drive to specific stations during communion. So I think at St. Anthony Parish, they've set up a sort of drive-through. My cousin Shelly sent me some pictures. There's some drive-through that's being set up so people can, do a McDonald's drive-through to get the communion. I don't mean to liken it to McDonald's. It's just, it's a visual, right? Your parish priest or staff will give instructions to the faithful before the Mass. Please carefully respect and heed the directions. The Archdiocese will provide further information and follow-up announcements Friday. Please also contact your respective parish for information. A schedule of island-wide parish parking lot masses will be issued shortly. And so that's it with the announcements. Now we get back to the hard news.
Can I just say, California used $20 million in the CARES Act money to give their people food.
20 million?
Yeah.
Good for them. We gave none, 0
I know.
for food from our government at Guam.
I just wanted to state that.
And to this day, the governor's office has not been able to answer whether Governor Leon Guerrero or Lieutenant Governor Tenorio themselves have personally fed even one hungry person throughout these past 7 weeks. Not one single answer from them. I think we know what the answer is.
Wait, I think.
What are these Pringles about?
That's from Anthony.
Thanks, Tony.
I think we received a Facebook message because there's one more drive going on. I believe it's from Fizz and Co.
Oh, I love that
And
place.
I believe let me find it.
I'll wait for this before moving into the hard
There we
news.
go. The Giving Tree Preschool Center. And I also believe the Giving Tree, they also, during Christmas time, they go to the jail and they get a list of, if I'm in jail, I'll give them a list of my children that's outside, give them the address and stuff, and they'll buy presents for my kids.
Oh, awesome.
So, and Fizz and Co., the Giving Tree Preschool Centers and Fizz and Co. will be hosting an emergency food drive accepting non-perishable foods, personal hygiene, feminine products, and toiletries from the community. Drop-off site is Fizz and Co. in ASC,
Agania Shopping Center.
Agania Shopping Center.
Well,
Saturday,
at least they're providing feminine hygiene products to people.
Saturday, May 9th through May 16 from 12 to 5 p.m. So if you guys are down towards that area and can't make it up here, go there and give your donations there.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So on to this issue about money coming soon.
Tomorrow.
It's tomorrow?
No, our unicorn land.
Oh. The money's coming apparently next week. And today at a Special Economic Service meeting, Special Economic Service is this group of senators led by the budget chairman, who is Joseph Augustine, that bring together the government's financial officers. They're the budget director, the director of administration, also known as the cash director, director of revenue and taxation, the GITA director, who was not there, and the chief economist from the Guam Department of Labor. They had a meeting today, and during that meeting, senators were asking about, what's up with the cash assistance program. And Daphne Shimizu said that they're very happy that the money has come in, and that the reason, wait, I wrote down the exact quote. The reason that the cash payments are not ready to be released until perhaps next week is because of the level of coordination required with the IRS to ensure that there are no duplicate payments. The reason why the cash payments are not being made now, that the money is in, is because of exactly what Congressman Mike Nicholas warned the governor about back when she said, oh, I'm going to use local money to pay for the $1,200 for those making $10,000 and less. And while it was good for those people to get that money quickly, the congressman said, yo, this is going to cause some problems when the federal money finally comes. And now that the federal money is here, Rev and Tax has to take additional measures to ensure to IRS that duplicate payments aren't going to be made to people because of the original advance payment that happened. And so, just again, another thing that the Leon Guerrero administration screws up for the people of Guam. It's just so disheartening, and we would rather not that this be the news all the time, but it just seems that the administration does not respond to anything but public pressure. They will not take care of a problem unless it's in the media and unless enough people are saying something.
And if they could get away with buying all the supplies for the dengue, when dengue broke and they didn't want to tell anybody, so that them and their cronies can buy all the supplies off the shelves. If they could get away with it, they'll get away with it. Let's just hope and pray no one finds out about it.
Well, Lester Carlson tried to get away with a lot. Lester Carlson is the budget director for the government of Guam. He tried to get away with a lot at the Special Economic Service meeting. I've worked with Lester for many, many years in the governor's office when he was over at the Guam Economic Development Authority and then over at the budget office. And I personally know that Lester is the person sent in to BS senators. Lester is the person that you send in to bamboozle senators who don't know any better because of the jargon that he uses. And, he counts on the aloofness of several senators. You look at the screen, you see how many of them look aloof right there. But go ahead and cast to my screen, and I'm going to play a portion of an exchange between Senator Therese Terlahi and Lester Carlson regarding, let's just call it, where's the money?
Senator Therese Terlahi, ma'am. Turn around.
Thank you,
There you
Mr.
go.
Chair. Thank you to everyone for your presentations and your patience. By the way, for the SNAP benefits, tomorrow at 9, we're also having a public hearing with the Department of Public Health. So that's going to be the number one item on the agenda, the existing benefits and the new program that they're rolling out, I think, tomorrow. So, all right, back to the SES. So the current, the most current report that we have is for the month ending March 30. It shows a minus 1%, which is equal to about $8 million decline in revenue projected for the rest of the fiscal year for the general fund. And then it shows what's your total? I totaled it to be about 18 million negative for the special funds. Is that about right? That's your projected again to the end of fiscal year 20? Anyone? Okay, well, that's what I calculated about to be about minus 18 million for special funds. So I guess I just wanted to follow up because so Mr. Byrne had said that the April totals look very similar to March, and I think Lester had given us one number for March, which was the TAF that they had projected already, and it shows to be very similar to the April looks very similar to March, and so I guess I wanted to ask is what you use in this March report, you according to the footnote that you pointed out earlier, you took into account the decreased economic activity due to COVID-19 on withholding taxes amounting to 18 million, decrease in business privilege taxes amounting to 9 million. And I guess I want to ask, so now that you are aware, but we're not aware of the April data, do you still believe these numbers, this prediction of revenue losses due to COVID-19 are fairly accurate? Mr. Byrne?
Well, Senator, let me just clarify that my remarks that you quoted were in relation to the general fund receipts, because that's what we were discussing at the time, not the special fund receipts.
I'm talking about general fund also right now, Mr. Byrne, because Lester was talking about the TAF at one point, comparing April to March, but now I'm also talking about general fund, where they estimated minus 1% decrease overall for the fiscal year, and about that equals about minus $8 million. And part of that was based on, according to the footnote, minus 18 million in the withholding and minus 9 million in the BPT. And I'm asking you, since this was calculated, do you think these losses based on COVID-19 are still accurate? I mean, relative
the general fund receipts were for March were about 46 million, and the best number I have for April is about 46 million.
Okay. All right.
Okay, I want to comment here before we move on before we continue on with that video. So Ed Byrne tries to he's the cash director. He's the most important agency head when it comes to the finances of the government of Guam. He's the cash. So in like the private sector, right? Because you worked in several companies. He's the CFO. Yeah, he's the CFO, and under his command is the controller of the company and all of the accounting division and all that. They are the most important part of the company, right? And so Senator Therese Falahi is probably one of the only ones who understands that the right person, really the only person she should be asking questions to, is Ed Byrne, the Director of Administration. And she's quick on this. She knows this. She's very methodical in her questioning when it comes to the budget of the government of Guam. And she ain't even the budget chair. She's the health chair. But she asked Ed Byrne all these questions, and Ed Byrne's in a tight spot because, he has to answer honestly. And he's not a slime ball like Lester Carlson is. But if you didn't catch it, Ed Byrne said he's tracking $46 million for April, according to the data that they have. Now, $46 million for the month of April is bad because the government of Guam, at a minimum, needs $58 million in its lowest expenditure month in order to survive.
So that's more than 3%.
Way more than 3%. And for the month of April, because tax collections normally come in on April 15, collections in the month of April are supposed to be somewhere around $120 million.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I don't know if you guys caught that, but that was a significant thing that Ed Byrne admits. Let's go back to it.
Then I wanted to ask if when these numbers were calculated, Lester, I know you keep speculating about it, but when the minus on the withholding and the projection for the minus on the BPT were calculated, did you count in there any of the CARES Act money or stimulus money at that time? I don't know, Mr. Byrne, if you could answer that, or Ricky, I don't know what happened to Lester. Mr. Byrne, can you unmute?
Lester.
Oh, okay. Hi, Lester.
Yeah.
You see that? Okay. Did you see that? So Therese Falahi is like, I want Ed Byrne to answer this. She knows that the answer needs to come from Ed Byrne, not from Lester. And Lester turns his mic on. He's like, oh, I'll answer that. And Therese Falahi says, oh, hi, Lester. Because she knows she's just going to get a bunch of BS from Lester. Let's continue.
About an hour ago, I'm just being, frank. About an hour ago, I actually explained that, and I did go through a net general fund impact of minus $27 million that we thought would be the result in our projections for the fiscal year, incorporating some of the stimulus. And I did go through and name some of the programs, and that was taken into account to be able to understand where some of the offsetting income would be.
All right, so the minus 27 million is what? Tell me what that number is one more time. Lester, if I've been paying very close attention for these hours, but just explain it one more time. Minus $27 million, what are you talking about? It's, overall fiscal year 20?
Yes, ma'am, that's overall.
Okay. General fund?
Yes, ma'am.
So this report that we're looking at that predicts an overall general fund decline of only 8 million is obsolete, you're saying?
I don't know. I didn't turn up the volume here. Could you repeat that, ma'am?
The minus $27 million is for general fund is very different than the minus $8 million that's reflected in the report that we've received so far. So I'm just saying that this report, then this, because it anticipates to the end of the year, I'm saying it's obsolete. Then we should go with we should use 27 million negative 27 million for general fund end of the fiscal year projection at this point is more accurate.
No, ma'am, that is incorrect. Draw your attention to page 3 again.
I'm there.
The actual revenue accounted for, cumulative revenues received to the adopted, we were ahead $20 million. Please look at page 3, column number 3.
Lester, I'm on page 3. On the bottom it says the total
look to your right.
revenue is going to be $8 million negative. And so I'd like for you to just answer my question, please.
No, ma'am. Listen to my explanation, which I provided earlier. Look to the left. The cumulative actual amounts, we are still exceeding the general fund adopted revenues by over $20 million. Please, it's on the same page, ma'am.
I see that, but that's not answering my question.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
So you're saying that those accumulated excess revenues that you've calculated as of the month of as of March 30, are going to carry us to the end of the fiscal year to accommodate a minus 27 million in losses, and that we will still end up with only minus 8 million. That's how you're calculating that.
Yes, ma'am. $27 million minus $20 million gets you $8 million. Correct.
Okay, great.
What?
So
That's okay.
Rounding.
Okay, then.
They're rounding.
May I ask about this? I don't know, we were in a meeting recently with other administration officials where they threw out a number estimated about $53 million total of impact for FY20. So is that $53 million something? I don't know. I guess it's not. I don't know now, because it made it sound like that would be the net, and that we would have to accommodate a $53 million loss in our.
Now, you just heard Lester Carlson say that the impact to the general fund will only be $8 million that they're tracking by the end of the fiscal year. And if you watch the rest of this 4-hour special economic services meeting, where several senators ask Lester Carlson about tax refunds, he just can't come up with an answer and says tax refunds will be paid as the law dictates. But senators want to know, why can't you pay tax refunds right now? Especially when you're saying that the impact of the coronavirus to the end of the fiscal year is only going to be an $8 million deficit, which is less than 1% of the revenues of the government of Guam. Then what's the deal? If it's just less than 1%, you should pay tax refunds now. And if it's less than 1%, you don't need all of that money from the CARES Act, the $118 million, to cover all of your so-called shortfalls in the government of Guam and your Gucci laptop bags. And then further to a point that Senator Joe San Agustin is hot on right now, because he's fighting for GovGuam employees to get the double pay, those who've been working during the crisis to get the double pay that they are entitled to by the law. The administration is saying no, because it's going to cost $36 million. The administration is risking a very costly class action lawsuit by GovGuam employees who know that they are entitled to this money. And here's the twist in that entire story. Director of Administration Ed Byrne, we're done with Lester's mansplaining, by the way, to Senator Therese Terlahi. DOA Director Ed Byrne wrote a letter to Senator Joe San Agustin saying, you know, the reason that we are not paying crisis work pay is because we didn't actually put the whole government of Guam on administrative leave and then call in certain workers to work the crisis to be on duty. What we did, Senator San Agustin, according to Ed Byrne, is we sent everyone home All of them, every single GovGuam employee has been on duty since this public health emergency started. And some of them have just been told to report to work. He's made up a whole new classification system during an emergency activation. And he says that that is the reason that we are not paying the double pay that the law actually tells us to pay. What Ed Byrne just did, and every GovGuam employee and family member of a GovGuam employee should pay attention to this right now. Because according to the directive that Ed Byrne put out, as soon as someone files this class action lawsuit in court, it ain't gonna be just to cover those employees who've been working the emergency, but because Ed Byrne said everyone has been on duty and not on administrative leave during this period, every single GovGuam employee since March 14 has been entitled to double pay. Their salaries have just been doubled by the administration, and taxpayers who are not GovGuam employees are gonna lose their shiz about this because as the government of Guam, yeah, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. This is just the plain reading of the statute and what GovGuam employees are entitled to. If Ed Byrne is right, that these employees have not been placed on administrative leave and they actually have been on duty, subject to being called in physically to work at a duty station, every single GovGuam employee is eligible for double pay, or not eligible, entitled to double pay since March 14. And if any of you lawyers out there are listening to this and are looking to make a buck, you just gather some GovGuam employees together and file that in district court, because I'm not kidding. I've been through these emergency activations. I know that anyone who's activated during these periods are entitled to double pay, and the rest of GovGuam is placed on administrative leave by executive order of the governor. Apparently, that's not what happened in this situation. And so this $36 million is that the governor is afraid to pay to the frontline workers has now ballooned into something else that the people of Guam are gonna have to pay for a very long time. And the longer that they wait to fix the situation, the more it's gonna cost. Matter of fact, as soon as the government of Guam opens at 8 a.m. tomorrow, it's gonna be, the money is gonna be tolling with that clock. Yeah. Let's see what your comments are before we move on to our next story. Brad Hewitt says, that hazard pay law sucks. Do your effing jobs and shut up. You are not entitled to extra shiz.
Love Brad.
Love Brad. But actually, Brad, all things, just being honest here, according to the law and according to what Ed Byrne said about the situation, every single GovGuam employee now is entitled to that double pay. And courts have awarded class action lawsuits in favor of employees for far less.
But you know, we can give some of these GovGuam workers that the benefit of doubt, especially the ones that didn't work the emergency, to be honest about it.
It won't matter. It's an obligation of the government of Guam.
Yeah, it won't matter, bro.
They could say, I don't want the paycheck, GovGuam will still have to pay it.
Dang.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, yeah. They should have overridden Bill 326. It would have cost the people of Guam way less. Glenn Lujan says, Code Red Sector 5 alert. I love Glenn. Crystal Barano says $170,000 to renovate GovGuam offices. LOL. Brandon Kittichai says it is game over. Fran Rivera responds to Michael J saying he doesn't want anyone to see that he's rolling his eyes. Oh, who? Marshall R.C. Who?
Lester.
Oh, Lester. Oh, yeah, I see Lester. Marshall R.C. Jr. says yes, and it's going to cost more taxpayer dollars for the lawsuit. Yes, it will. Just like how the people of Guam had to fork out, I think it was $12 million to pay Mike Phillips for the COLA lawsuit. Sandra Rages says, how about the grocery store workers? They see the most people on a daily basis and they only get minimum wage, risking their health and the health of their families for minimum wage. Yeah. Yep.
Not cost you less. Their bosses gave them
raises
a $2,
to
$2 raise while this is happening.
Julissa G says, Troy, please hide those strawberries. I'm gonna hide them in my stomach. Glenn Luhan says, this is terrible, Troy. Oh. Brad Hewen says, Lester dances around answers better than Fred Astaire does on stage. Fred Astaire. What a talent, huh? Lester's more talented than Fred Astaire. But you know, Therese Salahi wasn't having any of it. She's a smart cookie. She knew that she didn't care to get anything out of Lester. She wanted to ask Ed Byrne those questions. And then Lester started to sell her a bag of BS, and she was like, no, Lester. I'm on page 3. I see exactly what you're saying. You're just lying to me. She just stopped short of saying, you're just lying to me, Lester. Evelyn Blake says the federal funds were already going to be appropriated for their regular pay. Well, Evelyn, actually, remember the story that we did about the governor and her son-in-law screwing up the hotel procurement? See, the feds have a problem with reimbursing governments that, for this whole operation, right? There are all these different fund sources and funding, for different things. And on this one side is that hotel quarantine. As soon as that hotel quarantine thing becomes tainted, everything else gets tainted. Yep. And so the reimbursement will be harder to come by. So it's still up in the air whether we're going to get that reimbursement for the employment. Glenn Luhan says, oh, hell no, my nephews will be paying for this debt. I couldn't even tell you how much that is. Double pay for every single GovGuam employee.
What's their
the payroll cost?
Yeah.
I don't know what the monthly payroll cost is. I'm not sure. But out of 58 million minimum, it's the lion's share. Doreen Pangilinan says GFT is doing something in regards to filing a lawsuit with Governor Leon Guerrero. Oh my gosh, that's not going to be good. Clash Shelling says that's what I was thinking. The monies go to the GovGuam employees regardless if they reported to work or have been in lockdown. Private sector is bushwhacked. Marshall R.C. Jr. says, go 9, volunteer at the hospital and see what they are going through. I think that was about Brad's comment about the entitlement, right? Ray Sablon says, I need to put in my application. Retro it, Ray, to March 14, so you get the full impact. Jacob Nakamura responds to Jimmy Corruption saying, totally fake news from that blogger. All the media asked it last week, and Dr. Cabrera said he is in charge of purchasing for all test kits, and none have been purchased. They are using the ones provided by the CDC to Guam. This must be about that that one story about the test kits being ordered by a certain company or group of companies or something. Mm-hmm. Actually, there is a...
Go to C-Thread and see what he's asking. Press C-Thread.
It takes, my computer's very slow.
Oh.
It's gonna screw it up. So there is a story that we're working on about how it is not, I think I know what blog they're talking about or what blog post they're talking about. And that blog post was onto something. It just got the players wrong.
Yeah.
It's different players that are involved. But yes, same sort of concept, Jimmy Corruption. It's just that the people who are actually the culprits are, well, it's actually even more interesting than that story. And it involves rhymes with GRMC. Nate Horn says, he'll say he misspoke, and after an afternoon reporters keep bringing up the issue, he'll resign due to health reasons. Right. Dominic Santiago says, call Janella and see if she still has her job, LOL. Ismael Velez, is this a poem? It's a disaster. Troy is always messing up my plans. My H-2Bs resulted in only 2 Mexicans. Now this debacle with Babalta on the 19th floor. This crap's about to give me a cold sore. Now I'm not just the governor who aborts babies. Soon they're going to accuse me of spreading scabies.
He is on it, boy.
I love that. I love his marvelous so much. Okay, so we already did the masses one. We already did the story. Senators get dicked around by budget director on tax refunds. So remember yesterday we were like,
Getting mad about DOE. And
Yeah.
The government not giving
the governor
them-
didn't allot $1 to DOE, not
Yeah.
even 1 penny. It's not even 1 penny to DOE. Well, I don't know if the congressman was listening to our show yesterday or what, but this morning he was like, "Guess what, guys? We got $50 million for DOE." And in a story by Jacob Nakamura,
comes to save the day.
You can't make this stuff up.
For
I'm
real.
like, did you get that passed in Congress in a 6-hour period or something? What the hell is going on here? And the governor, he just makes, I don't think he means to, but he just makes the governor look so bad, you know? Because the governor on one day is like, nothing for DOE. And then the congressman's like, I'm here to give DOE money. You know, like, and it's a lot of money. So let's see. In the Education Stabilization Fund of the CARES Act, and Lustima, I think the congressman didn't tell Lou about this because he didn't want Lou to try to steal the money or something. He says there was a set aside of over $153 million for the insular territories to provide relief and support for COVID-19 education-related activities. Check this out. Guam is nowhere near the size and population of Puerto Rico, but of all the insular areas, of all the territories, we're getting more than 1/3 of the pie. 54 million out of $153 million. So 43.2 million is going to go to the Department of Education for coronavirus response activities, including purchasing of education technology for online learning, planning and coordination for continued learning during school closures, and providing for education-related gaps in the unique challenges posed by low-income students and children. So
That would mean like internet services that I wouldn't be able to provide because I can't afford it.
let's do the math on this. What if you bought 30,000 laptops in bulk? You think $500 is a good unit price for in bulk for 30,000 kids?
Yeah.
Yeah? Let's see, 30,000 times $500. No way. 30,000 times $500. Get out of town, Brown. That's only $15 million with
Maybe they can use it to
27 million more to spare.
the internet to give everybody internet.
So let's add 30,000 times, let's say $20 bulk rate from IT&E or something,
No,
right?
according to it was $443 for Wi-Fi devices.
That's the Gucci price for the Bureau of Budget and Management Research. Let's say $20 bulk rate price that DOE can get from a local telecom company, $600,000, 15.6 million so far to get laptops and internet to every single DOE student. Wow. With money to spare.
And there's programs that the teachers could help the kids with, but there's a lot of programs out there that just need subscriptions, and they track your child's progress.
And so you just load that into the laptops or whatever,
No,
right?
the child gets on the laptop, does the work, and then you can open it to track your own child. Then the teacher tracks the child, and then if they know that these certain children are having these problems at this areas, here's the classroom.
Man, that is something.
And there's programs
that
already.
makes my heart feel so good.
I know.
I'm so happy that DOE's... Okay, we're just dreaming here because we need to talk to John Fernandez and figure out and ask him, hey, are you going to do the Lou Leon Guerrero dance with this money? Or are you going to put it into something that's worthwhile for the kids?
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully, and I think I have great faith in John, that he's going to do the right thing with this money.
Does the board have a say?
I would I don't know. I don't know. Not sure. This almost sounds like a grant. These funds are also made available to non-public schools. It's not just DOE. Huh. The congressman says our educators need the tools to keep our children learning during these COVID-19 times. And these additional funds will assist in getting the computers, software, and programs necessary to further strengthen our remote learning capabilities. This can be transformative for Guam. He says the CARES Act also created the Governor's Emergency Education Relief Fund for states and territories to address continued learning during the pandemic for students in all schools, including charter schools, non-public schools, post-secondary institutions, and other education-related organizations. The U.S. Department of Education has allocated $10.8 million to the Guam Governor's Emergency Education Relief Fund. Okay, so sadly, the governor is getting more money, but oh well. At least the lion's share is going to the Department of Education. Oh, but the congressman says, he suggests something to the governor. He says it is only right that the entirety of these funds are available to all schools, as no child should be left behind in either our public, charter, or private school settings. So that's the congressman's way of saying, don't keep the money, governor. Use it for education, like it's supposed to. Let's go to your comments before we go to our two top stories. Jalesa D says, kudos to our congressman. Jacob Nakamura says, reminder, and do we have this reminder for people? Reminder, it has been 4 days since Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio told Janela to apologize. Do we have that? No, we didn't load it? Okay. Bo Ping Ku says PNC has a story with the congressman meeting with the IRS, probably to clean up the governor's mess. Sandra, where did Sandra's comment go? Sandra says, all this money coming from the feds is a bit embarrassing, don't you think? And putting our country in so much more debt. Wasn't the $117 million received, some of it was to go to the kids? Yes, Congress was very clear that they encouraged state governors and territorial governors to use a good portion of that money for education, and the governor is not using it for education except to renovate Arlene Santos' library office. Jesus. Jacob Nakamura asked, did anyone find out if the FBI will be booking and confining Hai Hyun, or will he be booked and released? Jacob. Justine Rodriguez-Flores says, forget about Janela's apology. The fact that she has to be told by the LT is just damn sad. If it ain't sincere, why should we care?
Can you, we didn't write this story, but this letter was sent to Senator Terlahi from the congressman.
Oh, I need to do more
research?
Yeah.
Okay.
And publish it in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Glenn Lujan, who's a teacher, he says it's worthwhile for the kids because that federal money has to be accounted for. I think, I hope he's talking about the laptops. Maybe he's talking about the laptops and the programs and the internet and all that. Kathleen Thomas Beneventi responds to Jacob about something. Let me try to go up more. Oh, Glenn Lujan says, yes, Johnny, DOE is working on that at this time. Very nice, DOE.
My sister actually told me about the programs last night. We discussed it after the show because she was disturbed as well.
That DOE got.
Yeah, like just the way Guam's school system is. My sisters live off island.
Well, does your sister know that we have a very active Bureau of Women's Affairs on Guam?
You mean non-active?
Well, no. To be fair, from the day before Lulian Guerrero was inaugurated as the first female governor of Guam, and then on the day that she was inaugurated as the first female governor of Guam, and then when Martin Luther King Jr. Day came, and she said, this is the first time a female governor of Guam is going to preside over Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And then the first time that the first female governor of Guam was going to deliver a State of the Island address to the female speaker and the female chief justice. And then the first time that the first female governor of Guam celebrated Valentine's with the people of Guam. And then the first time the first female governor of Guam actively sought out abortion doctors And then the first female governor of Guam celebrated Christmas, Hanukkah, July 4, her own birthday.
Their own fireworks.
Their own fireworks.
Special fireworks.
And the first female governor of Guam to be a resident of Government House. And now her name is the MAGA Haga, and no longer the MAGA Laki. And I'm not saying this to demean women. What I'm saying this for is because since COVID-19 started, you ain't seen Jane Flores anywhere talking about the fact in this real world situation where so many women and girls cannot afford feminine hygiene products, you would think that the Bureau of Women's Affairs would be front and center on a campaign like that. But according to Civil Defense Administrator Chuck Estevez, Jane Flores has not been seen 1 day or 1 hour or 1 minute in the Emergency Operations Center, and he knows of no such plan by the government to provide feminine hygiene products to women and girls in need during this time. When the island needed a woman to understand women's issues, the governor has not provided. And so what good was that to celebrate feminism in that way if when women needed you, you weren't there for them?
You know, this may come off wrong, but I was having a conversation with Selena today, and I mentioned that, you know, usually during a crisis, right, the governor's wife is out there feeding the hungry. Maybe a governor's place isn't a woman. And then our lieutenant governors of
you can say it.
Our lieutenant governor's a gela and doesn't have a wife. No, think about it, Troy. Right? In any other crisis, you have the governor making decisions, getting things done. Correct?
Yes.
And then the wife is out there feeding everybody, the foster kids, all of that. They do the whole shebang.
Yes.
Where is our first gentleman?
You know, there was a governor of Texas. She was a Democrat. I can't remember her name, but she died. Governor Ann something. And she had a husband. And so Governor Ann, whatever, she was tough as nails. She pissed off a lot of Republicans, but she's a tough woman. But she was about women's issues too, and she did her thing. But her husband was involved in the community. Then, let's say Hillary Clinton was going to be president of the United States. Bill Clinton had his his fight against I think it's AIDS or something. He had his own causes, right? And he said if he were going to be the first gentleman, he would continue those causes while in the White House. So this could have been something.
But it's not.
It would have been meaningful in that way, and where the husband could have taken a more active role in the community, but it's not.
Well, I'm just feeling this way because I don't feel safe. You know, I don't feel like there's gonna be a tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand, and it's just so sad that for some people, Lulian Guerrero has almost ruined chances for other women to hold that office because of the disdain that people have in their mouths right now.
Yeah. Well, if anybody knows me, I am woman power.
Yes.
I love empowering other women. I love I really don't look down. I don't look down on anybody, and I'm for women making money for themselves, for doing things on their own. You don't need a man. You can do this, and, you know, a man's a bonus, all of that. You know, I'm for that.
A man's a bonus?
Yeah!
I love that.
Troy!
I love that forever.
A man is supposed to be a bonus.
Hey, penis over there. You're just a bonus. I love that so much.
Screw you, Troy.
No, I'm going to say that. I'm going to be like, who do you think you are? You're just a freaking bonus. And right now, you're like a minus deficit.
Wait. You know, so if Lulian Guerrero is the one making all the decisions and people are supposed to be fed because that's the job they chose, right? If anybody's to blame here, because everyone says, stop blaming, stop pointing fingers. We have to just move forward.
No.
If there's anybody to blame, it's the governor of Guam. So let's ask that question. If she's busy making those decisions, and we have the first gentleman, and then we also have the lieutenant governor, and he doesn't have a partner, so he's just alone. Why is there gaps everywhere?
They're not leaders, Brett.
But they also have a bureau of women's affairs.
They also have an entourage.
They have paid staff, people who are getting paid big bucks during this time. And it's like, man, I thought you're the director of Bureau of Women's Affairs, the first female governor. You want her to shine. Why are you forgetting about women's needs in a time like this? And we know that these needs exist because they come to our front door. Mm-hmm. And we didn't even realize it ourselves that this was going to be an issue. We only realized it was going to be an issue because of the number of people asking if we have Kotex and tampons. And what is that gross thing you guys use? Your species of Homo sapiens?
Oh.
Women.
What? What?
The squirter thing.
Oh, I don't use that. Only Pachata girls use that. Sorry. My mom said, don't ever use that. That is not normal. You need antibiotic if you need to use that.
You need to see the doctor. Summer's Eve. That's what it's called.
I'm telling you that is not normal. You don't use that.
DT says she is a feminine hygiene product. Oh my God. Marvin Martinez says, can you put the picture back up? The one with the reindeers? Says that picture looks like the Golden Girls.
She looks old there, huh?
Oh my gosh.
Alexa Ray, did you read that?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Alexa Ray, Janella has such a shameful attitude to not want to apologize to the public. And it's despicable that she too is a face of the government of Guahan. What's so hard to own up and just apologize? I hope she is watching the replays here and reads the comments. People like you don't deserve to be in a position you are, just as Lou.
No. I gotta agree. Oh, Brad, it's Ann Richards, Governor Ann Richards, and Carlos says Governor Ann Richards, yeah.
Oh, and F. Glenn Lohan's telling you how to do it the Chamorro Antigua way.
What?
Vinegar.
Now that's butchered and vernacular. John Michael Beneventi said the first governor and lieutenant governors were both like chili. Monica St. Nicholas says, girl, bye. She screwed the whole community. Pat Song says, you're so right, Johnny. Selena, our sister, says, Johnny Rosario, that hesitation about the LT, laughing out loud. Glenn says, Todum Manatlibis. What does that mean?
Benaglin tuba.
Oh, I'm just seeing the Alexa Ray comment now.
It's pinned.
Oh, it is? Oh, I'm not all the way at the bottom. Aloni Gates says, sad how we all believe someone we call Maga Haga cannot provide help. Instead, she sits like a duck and waits for MSN to bust a move. And then she criticizes, or not she puts him down or all ignores him.
Yeah, all the time.
Christy Flores says, Lulu is also the first woman who sucked as the first female governor. Denise Legaspi says, can you imagine the governor's hubby out there passing out
Yes,
Kotex?
we can. We can.
I can imagine Jane Flores doing it because she's paid to be the director of the group. Christine Flores says Lulu was just the wrong one. Mm-hmm. The other thing that the administration is well, that's not fair. I shouldn't. I was about to say the administration does not seem concerned about, but at least Alice Tyron is concerned about this. So there are some piss poor conditions that the people who've been forced to stay at the Pacific Star Hotel have been going through. Alice Tyron, who is she's the co-resident manager. She's the president of the Guam Housing Corporation. The other co-manager is Rebecca Respicio. They are together, and they are staying. Alice Tyron admitted.
What do you mean together?
They're, they're come-zooing each other. They are staying.
Partners.
They're partners, yes. They are. Alice Tyron was very honest in an interview that we had with her today. And if Janella Carrera and Carlo Branch need some tips on how to conduct interviews or how to talk to people, they need to see Alice Tyron. Because when we asked her, are you staying in room 1909? She said, yes, Rebecca and I are staying in that room. Is anyone else staying in that room? She said, God, no.
She's like, Rebecca's all mine.
Rebecca's all mine,
That's mine.
And yeah, people are going to criticize her for that. But you know what I like about her answer is that it was freaking honest. Because maybe it was a mistake to stay in that room. But at least I can rely on Alice Tyron in the future if there's some other mistake that needs to be called out in the media to be honest about it. And so I vote for Alice Tyron for whatever. And she gave us an honest interview.
Much respect to her.
Yes, absolutely. That I don't even care about that presidential suite story anymore. I don't give a hoot about it. Just because, you know what? She is a rare find in the Leon Guerrero administration. And if the governor wants to look to someone who has integrity in her administration, she should stop looking at her son-in-law and start looking at someone like Alice Tyron. So she also told us, she admitted that yes, there have been complaints that they've brought to the Pacific Star Hotel because of blankets with brown and yellow spots, beds that stink, carpets in the rooms that are moist and are moldy, ventilation systems that are not working. And she said that she and Rebecca have actually had to clean that stuff up themselves because they've lacked some housekeeping staff at the Pacific Star Hotel. There's just not a lot, while this crisis is going on. What she wasn't aware of when she said that public health would know the answer to this is that a couple of people who stayed at the Pacific Star Hotel contracted scabies during their stay there. Now, scabies is disgusting, and I know I put a really gross picture of it on the story. According to the Mayo Clinic, go ahead. I don't know if you want to show this to people. Eesh. According to the Mayo Clinic, scabies is an itchy skin condition caused by a tiny burrowing mite called Sarcoptes scabii. Intense itching occurs in the area where the mite burrows. The urge to scratch may be especially strong at night. Scabies is contagious and can spread quickly through close physical contact in a family, child care group, school class, nursing home, or prison. Because scabies is so contagious, doctors often recommend treatment for entire families or contact groups. Scabies can be readily treated. Medications applied to your skin kill the mites that cause scabies and their eggs. But you may still have some itching for several weeks after treatment. The only thing I remember about scabies is like teasing my classmates in elementary school. You got scabies?
You got Sutna.
That too. It was everything. Anything that we could, any bad word we could get our hold on. Like we used to say things like, "You're so stupid." You're like Brody Memorial.
No, then you go to Brody Memorial.
You go to Brody Memorial. Hey, you Brody Memorial. We used to say stupid things like that. I wasn't a bully. I promise. I was actually one of the nice ones. But I occasionally enjoyed a good laugh. Never mind.
You still do.
We don't have anything else. Let's see what your comments are. Jacob Nakamura says, Alice Tyron would make a good chief of staff. I like that idea. Sandra Rages says, damn, I'm eating.
Destiny Parnham says nickels and dimes.
From which one?
From the Sutna.
Nickels and dimes? Oh, because Aloni Gates says, if our government communicated like the chain of command, like the military, we wouldn't have this domino effect. Yeah, you know what? A matter of fact, I'm glad you brought that up, Aloni Gates. I never even thought of that. That's a really good point. We got more information out of the USS Theodore Roosevelt and United States Pacific Command than we got out of the Joint Information Center on Guam.
You mean the TIC?
The TIC, the Todd's Information Center. Brad Hewitt says, there is a shizload of GovGom employees on administrative leave. Actually, they're not. They're not on administrative leave, Brad. According to Ed Byrne, they're on duty. They're just at home. Get them into the Pac Star and help out the hostages there. That mess is loose. This she's got to get her folks in there to take care of her problems. Got to stop blaming the hotel. Francis Cruz Torres says, that's like ringworm. Lots Guam says, Johnny had none growing up. Scabies.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Kathleen Thomas Beneventi says, amen. Lots Guam says, Johnny is still Johnny. Now, if you guys want a good laugh, you need to go to the Facebook site, Guahan Sales. And I'm not going to tell you what to look for, but when you find it, you'll know what I'm talking about.
There was about 200, almost 200 comments the last time
I'm going to go back to that.
Yeah.
I need to go back to that after this show. And after I read all of your comments from the show tonight, I'm going to go to Guahan Sales and find out what the dirty laundry is going on in Guahan Sales. I don't know why it wasn't in Mariana's dirty laundry. Anyway, tomorrow we'll have more news stories for you. We're also going to live cast the oversight hearing that Senator Therese Terlahi is having with Director of Public Health Linda DeNorsi and other government of Guam officials. And I want to know what senator is going to ask Linda DeNorsi under oath what's up with the forgery claim.
The oversight hearings aren't they? They're not open to the public.
Generally, they are. It's just that because it's going to be a Zoom meeting, that probably won't happen.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a virtual oversight hearing.
Okay.
So that most likely will be a way more exciting meeting than today's special economic service, and we may even see some sparks fly at that oversight hearing. We'll see. But until then,
They need to have oversight hearings across the board, put everybody under oath, and let's get it all out.
Yeah.
Let's do it now. Let's not wait till the money's spent.
Let's get it on.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, yeah. Until tomorrow.
Don't forget, if you guys know people that are hungry, they lost their jobs because of this COVID-19 crisis, send them to Kandit. My phone number is 797-7082, and I'll schedule a meeting or to meet with them, or they can come to the office.
And don't forget, drive-through church this weekend. If you need to spend your money, go spend it at AutoSpot on a new car. Just go see Derek Munya Kanata, tell him Kandit sent you. If you are lazy like I am and you want to support a good cause, go to buenprovecho.com. Sign up. 100% of the profits made during this COVID-19 crisis will go back into the community. And support our food drive here and the food drive by the Guam Daily Post. You can drop your goods over to the Guam Daily Post or call them at 649-1924, and they will be distributing food to, I think their goal is to 1,500 people.
Yes, thank you, Mindy, and thank you, The Post.
Thank you, Mindy, again, the publisher, and thank you, Guam Daily Post. For Kandit News, I'm Troy Torres.
And I'm Johnny Rosario.
And that is...